What's up, guys? Steve here, and little Ralphie as well.
Hello.
He's not so little anymore. He's actually been very cheeky, biting, scratching, eating flies and moths, which is fine, but sort of gives him diarrhea and stuff. And today he actually climbed up his first tree and he got stuck. How are you going to get down now? Hey? No, don't go up there. So, he's adventurous and he's still cute, but he's just a little rascal. Takes after his father. I'll try and keep this short, so for me that means, I guess, half an hour. No, it won't be half an hour. I just thought I'd jump in here in between episode 6 and episode 7 of this pilot season that we're calling season 0. Just to sort of quickly let you know why I did a pilot season in the first place. I have already mentioned this, but I thought it would be important at this stage to jump in just to sort of give you an update as to where I'm at with everything. I'm really happy with the first 6. Obviously they're quite different. There's a few that were audio only, some were Zoom with video and audio, some were Zoom, but the quality was so shit that it was just, I could only release the audio. And the first 2 were in person. So yeah, it's a bit all over the show, and you might have noticed a couple of different logos and green screens and a couple of different intro songs and things like that. So yeah, it's just my way of bypassing perfectionism and decision paralysis and just getting on with it and releasing. Otherwise I just never would have, because there were certain things, there were certain elements to these episodes, to these interviews, that just couldn't be edited out. And they're all quite different, so they don't sort of fit within any specific theme, if that makes sense. Not to suggest that I'm going to have multiple seasons with different themes, but the theme, if there was ever one for this pilot season, is just one of inconsistency. So anyway, some of you, many of you, hopefully, will be watching or listening off the back of my interview with Jordan, episode 6, The Goblin of Lengthweight. I loved that story. In terms of the audio and the video and the intro and all that, I was pretty happy with it, and it was a great story. I mean, there's a reason it went viral. Not my podcast interview, but her story on TikTok, the original one. She's doing very well. She's done a few other podcasts. I wanted to save that for season 1. Not because it was any better a story than the other ones, because all the other guests have been fantastic, and their stories have been really interesting, but there've been inconsistencies, as I say, with the audio and video and whatnot. But I wanted to get that out while it was hot off the press, because there was a bit of buzz about it on TikTok and stuff. So for any of you who've come back, who've returned off the back of that episode, welcome. And just to let you know, I've decided on 3 final episodes for season 0, this pilot season, and they're all quite different. So again, there's that theme of inconsistency. Episode 7 is with Jules from Texas. It was a great conversation, and she had some really interesting little stories. But yeah, I was trialing a different podcast software in lieu of Zoom, and oh my gosh, yeah, the video quality was just it was not acceptable, and the audio. So it's an audio only episode. Just forewarning, it's pretty glitchy. It's pleasant enough to listen to, except every 5 words it kind of cuts out. But look, it's not enough for me to go back and re-record. I don't think that's fair on the guests. I think it's also less authentic, and it's also not enough for me to just not release it at all. Because Jules took the time, I took the time, and also it was a good episode. It's a good interview, and it was really interesting. So I just wanted to give some warning. It's not as good a quality production-wise as what you may have heard from the last couple. And then episode 8 will be more of a conversation-based, less scripted, less structured conversation with actually a guest that I have already interviewed from episode 3, I believe, Reese from South Africa. She shared that spooky story of the demonic jewelry box by the lake. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. It's bizarre. But that was the first Zoom that I ever did. First Zoom interview for this podcast. So about 24 hours later, we actually did another Zoom, and I just had some more questions, and Reese is lovely. She was great to chat to. Yeah, we speak about the hierarchy, supposed hierarchy of angels and demons, and she shares a few other sort of supernatural, paranormal encounters that she's had. And it's a longer one. It's about an hour and a half, 40 minutes. I do, in general, want to keep these to 90 minutes max, with the sweet spot being an hour. But again, it is what it is, and it was a great conversation. Certainly just probably not the same structure that I want to have going forward. And then the final one, which will be episode 9, is with Shan from Melbourne, when I was still living in Melbourne. Shan's a Reiki energy healer. I met her at a class pass session, and we got chatting, and I mentioned I was doing this podcast. So she was like the third person I'd interviewed for this as well. But we actually did that one in person. She came round, and I recorded it on this MacBook and with my cheap little Sony audio recorder, and that was cool. That was a really cool conversation, actually, interactive. We do a little spell at the end. It was pretty cool. But that was about closer to 2 hours from memory. So again, doesn't fit within the times that I would like to keep these interviews, these episodes to going forward. And I think that's probably that'll be the last time for a wee while, perhaps, that I'll be able to interview someone in person, just by the nature of my living circumstances. No longer in Melbourne, but I'll be back. And yeah, I've got about 5 episodes already recorded, ready to go for season 0. And they're not necessarily going to be any better, but they're going to be consistent in terms of the intros, the production quality, and all of that. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to keep this. Look, we're already at 10 minutes. Thank you guys so much for your kind words. And just a reminder as well, a cheeky reminder. If you do want to support the show, I don't know why you wouldn't. Please have a look at the donate now button in the show notes. That allows you to donate through cryptocurrency. And I'm working on, as I've already mentioned, getting Apple Pay, Google Pay, and credit card functionality going as well. But yeah, donations aren't expected, but are very much appreciated. And they would go towards further enhancing the production quality and promoting, advertising, all of that. I'm obviously starting out and haven't yet hit the metrics to qualify for ad revenue or brand sponsorships, things like that. So yeah, take a look. At minimum, I would ask, please rate 5 stars if you're watching this on Spotify. Interact, leave comments, like, subscribe, and share and all that on my YouTube channel as well. And share with friends, anyone else who you think may find the show interesting. That's about it. I'm going to stop before I start to ramble, which I have a tendency to do, and probably finish editing these actual episodes instead of talking about doing it. What was the last thing? Oh yeah, and I am still looking for stories. So I'm always looking for stories. So if you've had a supernatural encounter, be that a cryptid creature like a Sasquatch, Dogman, Mothman, a Yowie in Australia, goblins like Jordan experienced, a jinn perhaps, if you're from the Middle East, fairies, taniwha. Anyone here in New Zealand seen a taniwha? Has anyone seen the Moiho man up in the Coromandel? You know, I could go on, but if you've seen something, and I've got a good bullshit detector, so don't come to me with a tall tale. It has to be real, and I know if you're lying. And even if it's something just outright bizarre, paranormal, supernatural, loss of time, near-death experience, out-of-body experience, precognition, UFOs, aliens, I want to hear all of it, please. So if that's you or someone you know, please reach out. This is probably the last time I'll give my email because I'll change it to a more professional one. But you can email me, cosmicbanter222@gmail.com. I'm also on TikTok and X and YouTube and Instagram, Cosmic Banter Podcast. They're all variations of that handle, but I'll put all that in the show notes. All right. Thank you guys for bearing with me this pilot season. I hope you've enjoyed it thus far. Hope you enjoy the next 3 episodes for what they're worth, and look forward to releasing this first proper clean season. But feed me some more content. I need to hear some more stories. All right. I think that's enough. I think that's good. We covered everything. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful night. Stay safe.
Push.